Get in. Alright, so it's day 3 of this whole Christmas calendar. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos so far. If you haven't seen day 1 and day 2, they're up on my channel right now. You can go click them in the description below. But either way, we're going back in time to look at some of the skills that we've done so far throughout this season, starting from maybe around August, September time. And I've chosen my 10 favourite skills that I've showed you guys and that I like to do the most. And I feel that are the most effective when you do this skill. Now, I'm not saying the most match effective, but just effective in general when you're doing them on your friends or in training, wherever you want to use them. But yeah, I just feel like these 10 skills are the best skills that I feel like I've used and I feel like I've shown you on my channel. But either way, let's get into this video. If you do enjoy this one, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, let me know in the comment section what you want to see more of, turn that notification bell on, and I'm going to get you right into the video right this second. Alright, so let's get into the first skill. So the first one is done by Mbappe, and I've seen him use this at the World Cup. Now, it's not the one that everyone keeps talking about, that little pass trick he did. It's not that one, but it's quite similar. He uses this a lot like down the wing to get past players when he really baits them in. What you're doing is you're dragging the ball back and then you're flicking it inside with the inside of your other foot. So when you're dragging it with your right, you're flicking it with the inside of your left. It's kind of like the L drag skill, which I've shown quite a lot in videos, but it's the other way around. You're kind of using 2 feet this time, and it really baits the defender in. It'd be perfect to use down the line if they're really trying to tuck you in and think they can block you off on the line. You just do that little skill and get behind them. You can even put in a little spin, which Elliot did in one of the examples here. So you can add that if you need to, just to flick away from the player. Alright, moving on to the third skill. Now, it's the third skill and it's 3 step overs. He likes to do the triple step over. I've done the single and I've done the double, but I've never done the triple step over on my channel before, so let's give it a go. Okay, so the triple step over, I've never ever done this on my channel, and I don't know why, because I have used this in the game and I use it in training and stuff like that, because sometimes a double step over just isn't enough, you know, and I feel like that's what Ronaldo kind of aims at. But I feel this is really effective in a 1v1 situation, because you can kind of like get 1 step over, he drops his shoulder, you get another step over, he drops his shoulder, and if he tries to time that for a double step over, he'll then commit, and then you do 1 more step over and take it past the player. He or she is never going to read it. All you're doing is stepping your foot around the ball if you weren't too sure on what a step over is, but you can see it quite clearly on my example. But yeah, make sure you get the speed as fast as you can and make sure you burst out with that pace as soon as you've done the skill. Give it a go. Let's jump straight into the skills. Now, for this first skill, it's very, very sort of situation based. It only tends to happen in certain situations. Now, for the first demonstrations, you can kind of see there's not much movement from me, but there's more movement from the defender. Now, it can be used like this, but mainly you want to focus on when you're both running towards the ball, but you're going to get there first. The defender knows you're going to get there first and has to make a decision whether to close the ball down or your first movement. Now, your first movement has to be a dummy, so that they go with that little dummy, and then you take the ball away, or you don't even have to touch the ball, they'll go straight past. Now, you see it happen in pro level. If I can find a clip, I'll insert it at the end, but you see it a lot. I know Dani Alves once did it against Ronaldo, I'm pretty certain, and he made him look like a mug. But yeah, very, very basic. You're just going to drop your shoulder and then keep the ball. Like I said, it's very focused on if you get to the ball first, so you can throw the defender off. Now, so the next skill is Jesse Lingard's. Now, I thought he had a decent tournament, that's why I put this one in. He wasn't one of the better players, but I feel like he was one of the ones that kind of just did his own game and got on with it, and obviously England reached the semi-finals, so that was pretty good. So Jesse Lingard, he doesn't really use many skills. I've seen him use quite a lot of turnouts and stuff like that, like little skills, but the one that I see him using quite a lot, and you wouldn't really say it as a skill because you don't really do much with the ball. So all you're kind of doing is you're going to pick which way you want to kick it round them. You want to kind of put maybe a little bit of spin on it if you want to, or drag them one side to open the space in behind. But it is really about the feint. If you pass the ball around and you don't feint them, they're going to read it and they're going to be able to beat you to the ball. But if you really feint, is if you're going to go one way and kick the ball the other, they've got to do a turn all the way around, which slows them down, and then you can get in behind. Now, this skill here is called the stop kick. Now, it's probably one of the easiest ones I'm going to show you today, because it literally is just stopping the ball with your foot and then kicking it. But the hard part comes with the emphasis and the dummy of trying to beat your defender. Now, you'll see what we do is when we run down the line, we run quite fast, we slow down and stop, the whole body stops, but your kind of momentum keeps you going, and that's when you kick it through. Now if you do the dummy perfect and you kind of fool the defender, it'll stop them still, and that's when you kick the ball and you can get in behind and get that extra yard. It's kind of used best when you're right down in the corner and you're trying to get a cross in, because that way you can just get the extra yard before whipping in, because it's not a skill that you can beat them and get far past them. You only gain a yard or two past them, so if you do that skill, try then play it off or cross it in or have a shot, whatever you're trying to do. But for a winger, I would recommend using it further up the pitch. If you're about to get a cross in or something like that, that's when you can stop the ball, dummy them, go down the line and kick it in straight away for a cross or to the edge of the box or whatever you want to do. Probably the most simple of today, so you won't have to practice it too much, but yeah, just give it a shot. Okay, so for this skill, I've done it facing away from the defender, but you can do it facing towards the defender too. But I feel like in recent videos, I've showed the double feint facing the defender. So for this example, we're facing away. So what you want to do is mainly focus on the second feint. So the first feint, you can kind of put a little bit of a dummy in there, but you don't have to use too much exaggeration. But for the second feint, use a lot of exaggeration, as if you're going to go that direction and then fool them by turning the other direction. And him or her are going to be a bit more confused if you're doing 2 steps than 1 step. Like I say, you can do it facing forward, and you can also throw in a step over on one of the dummies if you want to, but for this, just keep it basic and do the double feint. Okay, so the first skill is something I've done on my channel before. I've done a whole video surrounding Neymar. If you want to go check that out, you can check it in my playlist. But this one is the Neymar flick. Now, it's just like the rainbow flick. Apart from Neymar put his own twist on it, he grabs it between his 2 feet and flicks it and moves to either the left or the right, whichever direction he wants to go in. And the ball goes straight over the defender's head and he's in behind. And why this one's so useful compared to the rainbow, I feel like it's better when the ball is stopped. Whereas a rainbow flick, when the ball is stopped, is hard to get a bit of momentum. Whereas this, you can really push the ball forward and get a bit of momentum as you jump. Basically, you're trapping the ball between your legs and you're moving your body, your top half of your body, to one side. With this one, I think I moved to my left, and I'm flicking it straight over the head, just so that way I can spin around the player and get in behind. There's not much like direction I can kind of give you to do this skill. Just watch it and try recreate it. Okay, so for this first skill, it's pretty simple. You don't actually have to touch the ball, you just got to let it go through your legs. I don't think it has a name, I just normally call it the dummy, just because you're going to get the ball and take it forward, but instead letting it go straight through your legs and go in the opposite direction. Why it's so important for a centre midfielder to use this skill is because they're always getting pressed from different angles, from the front, the sides, and if they need to turn out as quickly as possible, then this is the best skill for it, as long as it's got enough pace on it. Now, you've seen a few examples here. One of them was really hit and overhit. And now it's a bad time to use that skill because you don't know what's behind you all the time, and another defender or keeper could come sweep that in if you're a striker or you're playing higher up the pitch. But for a centre midfielder, they need a right amount of pace on it just to be able to turn out and still have enough time to go collect the ball and then pass it off or do whatever they want after that. One thing you do need to bear in mind though, using this in the centre of the park, so if you're very central when using this skill and you don't realise what's behind you if you haven't had a look, then don't use this skill. Make sure you have a look first and know that there's space in behind you for you to be able to do that. This works very well from throw-ins as well. If you're going to get the ball and there's not many options and you don't have a lot of time, it's nice to just turn out and you let it go through your leg, and then you can go and do whatever you want with the ball after that. But again, just make sure there's space in behind you, make sure you get the dummy right, and you'll be fine. This can also be used as a pass as well. It doesn't have to be the skill. You don't have to always go and get the ball. If the ball is passed into you and there's a player behind you that you know is on your team, you can just let it run, and it's like a little 1-2. You can let it run and move into space and collect the ball after they've passed it to you. So just make sure there's a player behind you when you're doing that again and not in opposition. Okay, so now we're moving on to the elastico. Now this is a skill performed by many people, of course, in the past, but today we're going to be focusing on Shaqiri's version of the elastico. Now, he is just, it's pretty similar to all the rest of them. He doesn't really have his own version of it. It's just the elastico, but he did it recently for Switzerland in a game, so I've had to bring it back for this video. Now with this skill, like I've said many times before, you're going to take the ball out first and then you're going inwards. That's how the main elastico. You can do an inverted elastico where you start with the inside and go the outside, but today I'm showing you the outside to the inside. Now there's 2 ways that these players perform this. One of them is going through the legs, which I showed on this video as well, and then one of them is going to the left of them or to the right of them, whichever foot you are. Now Shaqiri, he's right footed, so when he did it, he went to the right and then into the left, and it just works so smoothly, and that's why it's got the number 2 spot. If you want to know more about the elastico, then I've got other playlists that you guys can go and check, and I go into more detail with each skill. So yeah, you guys can find that in the description if you want. Okay, so for the first one, we're starting nice and basic, very, very easy to do. Now, a few times practicing this, you should get it quite quickly. This is my favourite turn to do when I've got the back facing the goal or the defender, because you can go either way with each foot. I can do the skill on either feet, so, you know, it's perfect for any sort of situation. And also, it's a good way to flick the ball out of your feet if you want a bit more space and time to get in behind and have a shot or pass it off or dribble after that. You don't have to take it as big and as extravagant as I did on the turn. You can kind of keep it short and sweet and then pass it off, but I did it just for the sort of the example. But yeah, you're just waiting for the ball to come a little bit behind your feet, and then you're hitting it with the inside of your foot, either way, your left foot or your right foot, which takes you in a different direction. Give this one a few practices, just watch it, how I do it, and try and replicate it, and I'm sure you'll have it in no time. So let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy these type of skills? Would you use them yourself? Would you go and practice them? Are you going to practice them? Let me know down in the comment section. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe on that big fat subscribe button, turn the notification bell on at the top right hand of your screen, and let me know if you want to see more skills, different skills, easier ones, harder ones, whatever you want to see. I'm going to try and put out as much content as I can this month. 25 videos is the aim. I've sort of put myself in a bit of a realization that it might be 18, 19, but I'm going to aim for 25, so we'll see what happens. Either way, like I say, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.